All right, so I'm with the 2019 Ford Fiesta, and you guys notice the marks are all gone. Just a little gouge here and there that has to be touched up again. Touch up over here, completely gone. Put it in another angle so you guys can see. Okay, so it just needs a coat of clear, a real light touch of clear, and it's good to go. I touched up all the other panels, a little dent here and there, scratch up on the top. There's a couple of marks over here on the hood. It's one right here, another one right there. Touched up over here. There was a touch up somewhere over here which I have to clean up. You can see the two little blobs, but I'll take care of that in a minute. I'll give it a light touch. As far as anything else, this was just the major part. I showed you guys how to do this. Rattle can spray, take a look. You just gotta pay attention to details, details, and that is the finished product. Take a look. I just have to work a little bit more and pay a little bit more attention right here, but as far as everything else, I mean, it's looking perfect. The mark over here disappeared, the gouges over here disappeared. If you follow the steps that I said in video number 1, you'll be able to do this. I'm just doing touch up, and as you can see, I'm getting really close. So look, pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Remember all of that. If you go to the first video, this is the only thing that I have to pay a little bit more attention to right here, and that's because the angle, the groove, and everything that's in, it's on this lip, the slope right here. It's in there, so that's the only thing that, kind of messes it up. But take a look on the outside, and this is what it is. Again, this is a 2019 Ford Fiesta. This is the paint number for this. For those who don't know how to find your paint code or anything, that's the oil change. Hotline police, tire inflation. But here on this right here, sometimes they give you some codes. Sometimes they put a little sticker and they will give you the actual paint number, but it will always be on the driver's side. Well, at least on my Honda, it's on the VIN number, and they put a sticker right here with the color code of the vehicle. Again, this is Mike with Pacific Tech Mobile Service out here in Sacramento, California and Northern California, and I usually don't do body work or touch up like this because it's really tedious, attention to detail, time consuming, and I make more money repairing vehicles because I'm real quick in diagnosing and repairing. Okay, but a couple of my viewers asked me to do a quick video on how to do touch up. So I did the first step. I showed you guys the first step, preparation. Painting is literally like a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes at most. The preparation is key. Prep your area, wash your area, clean your area. Make sure it's completely clean before you start working on it. I just cleaned the area that I was working on. I didn't do a full body wash or anything, but I wanted to take care of certain things and address certain things. But that's the way it looks. I'm gonna go to a different angle. Of course, it looks a little bit funny right now because of it's wet and I still have to add clear coat to it. But take a quick look at it. Look at that. And that is your finished product right there. The only thing, again, I have to pay attention to that deeper gouge down there. And it's kind of going to be hard because it's in the flex point, and the paint in that area is very low. So if I put too much paint, I'm going to pull up that groove, as you can see in a certain angle. See if you guys can see that in a certain angle. But again, you know, I will touch it down, bring it back down a little bit, give it a quick wipe, and the finished product will be wet sandpaper. I'm gonna go with 1,500 grit, and then I'm gonna go with the 2,000 grit paper, and that will be the finished product. If you have any questions, leave me a comment down below. I will make part 3 to this video as far as the clear coat and the wet sanding. But this is just laying down the base, covering up everything. You can't see any details. You don't see any marks, any gouges. It's a little imperfection here and there, but again, when you wet sand everything, it will take care of that imperfection. But this is the finished product. This is how it's going to look. Leave me a comment down below. I'm not here for thumbs up or thumbs down. I'm here to spread some knowledge, save you a little bit of money, and give you a little bit of elbow grease. It's not rocket science. Again, on a scale level, and I'm going to start using skill levels. Sorry, tongue-tied. It's out. It's hot. Cotton mouth, and not because I was smoking. It's just dry out here. But anyway, I'm gonna start giving skill levels. Okay, so from 1 through 10, 10 being the hardest. On a skill level like this, I give it a 4. Okay. The only reason why I give it a 4 and not a 3 is because of preparation, and you have to pay attention to details, so that's why I give it a 4. You can use touch-up paint to touch up that little area, buff it down, or sand it down a little bit, and touch it up again, build up that paint. The most important thing is you want to build up that paint inside that gouge, and then you can spray it. Little light coat, meaning a touch. And this is the finished product, okay? I don't have to mask everything. I don't have to do everything. Right now the wind and the sun is my best friend because it's allowing that to cool down, and the sun is heating it up and baking it. So for me, it's a plus out here. The only bad side about it is the dirt that, you know, will come off, you know, the dry grass and the dry grounds. That is the only thing that will be a problem, and, you know, whatever lint is up in the air or dust. But other than that, I mean, those little imperfections will be taken out when you do wet sanding. You will have to do the wet sanding. I prefer, you know, the 2,000 and 3,000 grit. The finer it is, the better it is, because there's less things that I'm taking off. Of course, I'm going to spend a little bit more time, you know, on it, but everything is finessed. It's not a rush job. Anyone who rushes this will try, you know, to tell you, I can do this within 2 hours and you're good to go. Okay, I'm giving you the bird because that means that all you're doing is just touching and going away. And then I have to deal with situations like this where I have to come up and clean up situations. On the first video, my friend Anna is allowing me to use her vehicle for this demonstration. So this is the outcome, and this is the outlook of what's going on. So pay close attention to details. Again, these are the tools that I'm using. So as you can see, there's not a lot of tools that I'm, you know, really working on. Super fine, but that's a fine, super fine, ultra fine sandpaper, and then the buffer pad. Okay, I'm using a drill. For those who have a buffer, it's even faster. For those who have pneumatic tools, even a plus. But I'm trying to teach you guys how to do things with things that you have in your house or in your garage without using any specialty tools or going out and purchasing all these tools or renting all these tools for you to fix this. Again, this is how I do it. Some people don't like, you know, how I do it and say I'm going to do it wrong and I'm doing it wrong, but look at the finished product. This is my only hiccup right here, and that's because I didn't spend too much time here because of that lip. But I'm going to go down there and spend a little bit more time, and you're going to see that baby flash. It is going to be uniformal. It's going to act like I've never been there. It's never been in an accident. And the accident is just it brushing up against someone else's car, and the license plate and bumper plastic scratched up the car. So this is how you take care of minor details. You have a lot of paint go around the vehicle. With the ultra fine sandpaper, I touched up, little small key areas. Just hit those areas really lightly. You can use, a piece of Q-tip. As you see there, I got Q-tips. And dab. Little dab. Bang, bang, bang. Look, no buffing, no none of that. I'm just going to go around and rebuff it. So that way I take off the excess. And that's it. But this is the finished product. This is where I had the problem at. This is the repair work. This is video number 2. I'm going to make video number 3 on how to wet sand this and cut this and blend it in. So that way you don't see a dark and a light. As you can see, there's the darkness on this side, the lightness on this side, the clear and paint is okay, and the old paint is here. This is the fresh new paint, and it has to be cleared, okay? Sometimes some of these guys will try to sell you these products with the base paint and clear all in one. Be very cautious with that. You have very little time to play with, and there's a little bit more of the buffing work that you have to do. One of the things I like to use is 3M buffing compounds just to finish cutting the excess. And mind you, all I want to do is cut very ultra fine compounds to cut. Don't use regular compounds, that turtle wax compounds or whatever the crap that shit is. You want to use ultra fine compounds. For those who have deep gouges like this right here, we sell icing, and this icing we put it over. It's almost like a putty, and we put it over. It bonds and fuses with plastic and anything else it touches, but you have to prep that area 100% for that thing to work 100%. If not, it's going to fall off, peel off, and it's going to look ugly. So again, if you have any questions, leave your comment down below. I'm here to spread knowledge. I'm not here to spread bullshit or deal with, bullshit. Knowledge is power, and I have very little time on this planet, so I'm trying to duplicate and spread as much knowledge as I can and spread knowledge as I can. For those who seek it, will have it. For those who don't, oh well, I'm at this point and at the crossroads for my country that if Americans don't want to wise up and get off their fucking lazy ass and start doing shit, their country will become shit. Right now I see my country as a fourth world nation. People ripping people off, doing things like this because they don't know how to do things. And then they look at videos like this and try to imitate, and I end up cleaning up someone else's mess. Okay? This is Mike with Pacific Tech. My political view and my personal views are much more different than what I'm trying to show you. Knowledge is power, and I'm going to keep on saying knowledge is power. Feed your goddamn brain with as much as you can, because these goddamn porch monkeys that are running this goddamn country want you down and below the ground, as dumb as possible, so they can continue to loot and cheat and steal and plunder. Okay? Don't allow that shit to happen to you or your children, or don't allow them to fuck your children over. Okay? Companies like this, this will cost you about $1,000, probably about $500 to $600 at the shop. And the shop is going to tell you that they need to buff and peel all that paint off and repaint that whole entire bumper. But you see what a rattle can do: a couple of sandpaper, some wax, some compound, some Q-tips, as you guys see on the ground, some water and soap, and that water and soap is going to be for the finished product, okay? That finished product is going to be, mainly you want soap, but I mean water, but I put a little bit of soap inside of it because, you know, I want to make sure that when I'm buffing that shit, it's taking off any imperfection, and the soap helps lubricate. But when you do this, you want to do this in the shade, or you want to heavily have water literally spraying constantly on top of it. You do not want to let that water dry, but I'm going to explain to you in the other video. This video, I'm kind of making it a little long and ranting on something that I'm going to show you in on the next video. But these are the tools you need. There's alcohol right there. You can use acetone, nail polish remover, anything to clean after you're done sanding. That is very important that you clean your area first before you lay down any paint. Okay, take off any debris, anything, any dust, any dirt, anything. So that way it can look beautiful like that. Again, questions down below. If I can help you, and if you have any questions about something else, and if I can help you, let me know. You know, I'm an engineer and I'm a certified technician, okay? I'm a civil contractor. I work on anything from airplanes, boats, vehicles, heavy equipment. I make my own machinery. I'm into it all. I can turn a block of metal into a Swiss watch if you prefer, and I'm going to do that in another video for you guys, since I'm constantly always saying that I can turn a block of metal this size into a Swiss watch. And I'm going to show you how easy it is and give you the same skill levels 1 through 10. Remember, this skill level is a skill level 4. It's not rocket science, and again, pay attention to details. Comments down below. If you have something nasty to say, my mother always said, you know, keep your mouth closed, because no one wants to listen to your bullshit. And I'm not going to reply nor respond to your ignorance. You know, that song called Too Short in the Ghetto? Well, if you act ignorant, I'm going to treat you ignorant. And that's the way I am. And majority of Americans like me that are coming back home is tired of the ignorance that is running very wild in my nation. And I say my nation because this is red skin, okay? I'm not white, I'm not black, I'm not either. This is red skin. So we are the true owners of this land, if you understand the meaning of that. So when y'all porch monkeys out here are acting like fucking court jesters, but you calling yourself, you know, kings and queens out there, and you lack the knowledge of this, okay? My friend Anna, I understand she's female, old, really hurt, but I believe that if that woman, you know, wasn't hurting and wasn't, you know, in the condition she was in, she would come out here and she would be out here learning how to do this, because that's the type of woman that woman is. We are the old school generation, and we're trying to teach you new school generation, okay? Old money trumps new money, okay? And old money always hates new money because the level of ignorance that new money has. You will spend all your resources on dumb things and not on the important things. So remember, knowledge is power. Arm yourself. This is the code for this particular vehicle. This is a Ford Fiesta, even though I tell people I hate Ford, because Ford stands for forever on the road dead, okay? For me, I already know what's going on with Ford. By 2030, Ford will be out of business. For those who don't know, I have friends that own a 2021 Mustang and need a bumper, and since January they ordered that bumper, and to this day that bumper still hasn't arrived because they don't make that type of bumper, but yet they make it for the cars that are coming, you know, brand new. So that tells you one big problem here in the United States: we don't make anything anymore. And when you don't make anything, your nation becomes garbage. That's why a lot of people's eating garbage. kicking rocks and all this other crap. But that's for a different topic. I'm going to try to stay away from the political arena. I'm just trying to educate the young, dumb porch monkeys that are constantly around me, telling me that they're kings and queens. Well, I want you to act like a king and queen. Don't tell me that you're a king and queen, because words mean shit to me. Actions mean louder than words. But it's a different story. Again, that's how quick that is. Let the sun bake it for a minute, and then you can continue. Okay? You want to paint and give that paint about 2 to 3 hours to dry before you start messing around with it again. Okay? So give it some time, and that paint is going to cure 24 hours. Okay? But before you start throwing the clear coat on it and start wet sanding and all of this, let that paint dry for 2.5 hours. Even though it says quick drying paint, 15 minutes, but you want it to cure a little bit, because when you hit it with the sandpaper, that paint that's still soft underneath is going to peel off. Okay, so make sure you give that thing a lot of time, and tell the customer, it's a good thing it's in the backside. It will allow the top layer of the paint and clear coat to fuse and everything, and cure a little bit, to where rocks and debris will not stick on it. But you want to give it a full 24 hours before you literally go on the street and, do whatever the hell you want to do in the streets. Give it some time, so that way my finished product looks okay, and then you're not calling me because you drove the vehicle as soon as I drove off and left you the keys. That you drove your vehicle and it messed up, the paint job that I just did. Okay, so always make sure that you tell your clients there is a time period that they have to wait before they go off. But that is fully completed. Video 3 is going to come with the wet sanding, and I'm going to show you guys how to wet sand.